they want to go in my mouth, down my esophagus, through my stomach, to my small intestine, and take
your asshole?
biopsy. Yeah, and then they come out my ass and then go back in my mouth. I don't know why. Anyway, no. I was like, is that really necessary? They're like, oh yeah. So.
Oh yeah, here's my GoPro.
Yeah. It's like, do you have a YouTube channel? And they're like, why do you ask? Oh man. All right, so I guess we're back. What we calling this season 2? Because I just looked it up because I had to make a folder for this. It's episode 24.
I guess, yeah, it'll have to be season 2 because it's been.
What is today? It's February 20th.
February 20th. Yeah, it's been a minute. The Rona happened, and I went on a weird schedule, and then I went into the forest. Forest people. I grew this awesome beard. Look at this thing, man.
So it's like boob length almost.
No, I guess
it was funny today. So. Will was like up to Laura. He's like, "How tall am I?" And she's like, "I'm like, you're under boob length."
About tit high.
Tit high. Oh, speaking of tit high, I just been watching Chappelle Show all day today. It's on Netflix. I have never seen Chappelle Show. I've seen like random bits and pieces here and there and clips and stuff, but I've never seen a whole episode. It's so good, but I can't. There's so much stuff in there that is people would consider not okay today.
Yeah, it was epic. Chappelle Show was probably the greatest show that was ever on Comedy Central, and then he kind of freaked out and went to Africa and came back. And also, I don't have any beer, but I have water from Animus Brewing.
I got this thing for Christmas or something.
Ooh,
dude,
Yeti.
This stays cold forever. It's just water. And then she got me a coffee one. I did an experiment. I put coffee in there at 6 o'clock, 6:20. And then it was still hot, and it was just like, it was drinkable where you didn't have to worry about it being hot at about 10 o'clock. So what is that?
Wow. It's too hot. It's too good. You need it to cool off eventually.
It's 3.5 hours before it's just like you can just drink it without having to worry about burning yourself. It's
something like, ooh.
It's too good. Yeah.
Steph has one like that, and it's really hot. So when I make camp coffee, I gotta leave the top off, and then she'll put water in it. And I like my water. I don't like my water like ice cold.
Yeah.
I like it cool, but not frozen. And it will be frozen all day when we're out four-wheeling or whatever, and it'll be like 3 in the afternoon. I'll go to grab it. I'll be like, oh, it's too cold to drink.
Yeah, I don't like it ice. There's no ice in my water. It's just too cold.
Yeah, I like clear, no ice, tap water. Perfect. Mine comes out of the well. So if there's a lot of water getting used, it's too cold because the well's too cold. But if it's like basement temperature, it's perfect.
Will finally figured out how to do this.
The people's eyebrow?
But because he's trying to do like the Sonic thing where he's like, and he taps his foot. So he'll do it, but he's like,
hey, look. Look, she's here. Look. She's
right
there.
What's going on?
And there's a doggy. There's a doggy. It's Girl Scout cookie time. The little neighbor girl, we had bought like, I don't know, probably, what, $20 worth of Girl Scout cookies, and the neighbor girl came up and I was like, I'll take another 40. Please and thank you.
We got some. So I lost a bet to Laura, and that's how she got the money. Whoops. I don't even remember. It was like a day I was like drinking or something, and we were talking about.
Did you lose the bet if she bought Girl Scout cookies? Because you're definitely getting Girl Scout cookies, right?
Yeah, that's a whole nother story. I still lost. All right, this story first. God. You can't see my finger. First,
in order.
We were talking about watching The Proposal with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock, where she's out in the woods with the grandma, and she's like, to the window, to the wall. The sweat dropped down my balls. So I was like, I don't even remember why. I was like, all right, I know that movie takes place in Alaska. And she was like, no. I said Maine. I said, I know that movie takes place in Maine. And she said, no, I know that movie takes place in Alaska. And I said, I will bet you $20. I think it might have been $50. Anyway, I lost. And the day that I gave her the money, there were Girl Scouts out on our street selling cookies. So she went and bought cookies with the money I gave her.
She had to go down the street with the money you gave her to the dealer?
Yeah.
Kids, I tell you.
Damn Girl Scouts peddling their wares. So then part 2, why I also lose again, is I am now found out that I have celiac disease. So not only can I not have Girl Scout cookies, I cannot have beer.
What?
No beer. Beer is made from gluten.
Celiac. Yeah, it's like literally made from gluten. It's wheat. And gluten-free beer is not as good.
No, she got one for something. I maybe it was on sale or something, so she just picked it up and it was just like, ugh, okay. It's like, I'll finish it, but ugh. So I've been...
So you can only drink Natty Light, which is made from hot homeless pea.
You know, I wonder if I can drink like Coors Light and Bud Light because they're made out of corn and rice.
I think you could drink Bud because they use rice.
Yeah. They even showed us
Coors
the corn and rice stuff when we were in the Coors brewery years ago.
That's right. But they use barley. Isn't barley?
Barley. Okay, so there's one like stipulation to the barley. So what is it? Crap, I get confused about which freaking fancy alcohol's which. Not whiskey. What's the other one that's like whiskey? But not brandy.
Scotch.
What?
Scotch?
No.
Like whiskey. Rum?
Rum? No. Fuck, I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, I think it's basically whiskey, but there's another name for it that makes it like...
Bourbon.
Bourbon. That's the word I'm looking for. All right.
Yeah.
So bourbon has to be made of 51%. What is it? 50,
corn mass.
Is it 51% corn and the rest can be barley or something like that?
If so, yeah.
Something similar to that. So that's gluten. But the distilling process like neutralizes it. So I read a whole bunch about it. Some people say they still had problems after they drank it, and some people say they had no problems. So I drank a whole bottle one day. It wasn't a huge bottle. It was like a little bottle. But
it's like an airplane bottle.
It was when it was cold out still. So we got the crock pot out. And we put a whole bunch of cider in from Nick's Garden Center, and then put a whole bunch of bourbon in it. And I don't think that I noticed anything. So anyway, so I can't have that. So I've been drinking like cider, hard seltzer, wine, and mead. So Dry Dock is making their own hard seltzer now, and they have like a ginger one, and I love ginger stuff, so I get that one.
What about rum? Can you drink rum?
Rum, I think so. You know, I've tried to like rum multiple times. Because we went to the beer festival and they had these coconuts. They had rum, like you literally like a straw in a coconut, and you drinking rum and stuff out of it, and it was so good. So I was like, I'm gonna do this. So I went and I bought a coconut. I like sawed a hole in it, which took longer than you might think. And I got some rum and I got whatever else I don't remember. And it was just like, I don't like it.
You gotta have good rum, and you gotta try rum to find the one you like. Because like, there's a lot of rums that are like I don't like, and then I found a rum I like, and I drink the shit out of that. Actually, we had the bottles on top of one of the cabinets, and Steph made me throw them away last month.
The top of
I had 15 bottles empties.
The top of our cabinets are NASCAR champagne bottles and growlers from various breweries.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know where our growlers ended up, but I would definitely have NASCAR champagne bottles.
I haven't opened.
I was listening to Door Bumper Clear the other day, and they were talking about Dale Jr. spotter. I forget his name off the top of my head. TJ something, and he was talking about having their trophies up in his house. He doesn't have a lot, but like the other guy, oh God, I forget his name too, but he had a room with all his trophies and stuff in it. It's pretty cool.
Man, I forgot a lot of those names. Oh man, I was telling the guy at work about all the crap going on in NASCAR, and I don't even really follow it anymore. And there's still so much crap that I see going on. And I was telling him, like, we used to talk. We started doing this thinking we were going to talk way more about NASCAR, and then we started to and never really did. There's so much bullshit going on there. I was telling him about it. He's like, "Are you kidding me? Is this even legal? Can they do that?" For example, okay, I'll give you a quick example. So there's 5 Toyota cars now, right? 4 in Joe Gibbs, and then 1 owned by Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin, who drives for Joe Gibbs, right?
Yeah, 2311.
So Michael Jordan owns a team. If you missed that, that's what's going on now. Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin. So there's 5 Toyotas. So in 2017, when I started at Furniture Row, there were actually 6 Toyotas, and I think there was like a slow car Toyota somewhere back there, but it wasn't a TRD one. It was just a slow one.
Yeah, they just had a Toyota body.
So there were 4 Joe Gibbs. There was Furniture Row 78 and Furniture Row 77 that I remember. There could have been another one I'm forgetting, but
there were a couple smaller teams that were running basically old MWR chassis and motors and kind of cobbled together and had a Toyota sticker on it still.
Yeah, I remember them talking about this. The small teams had like last body styles chassis or something like that. Anyway,
start and park cars, they not contenders.
So there was 2 in Furniture Row and then 4 Joe Gibbses. So then 2017, we win a championship. 77 goes away, and he goes to drive for Joe Gibbs.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2018, we get 2nd place, which we get cheated out by Joey Logano. Furniture Row goes away. Martin Truex goes to drive for Joe Gibbs. So there's the Furniture Row drivers, and then there's Kyle Busch, and there's Denny Hamlin. So 2019,
2019, there was only 4 total. There weren't.
Oh, that was 2019. Martin was in the 19. Jones was in the 20, and then there was Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin. 2020, I didn't follow it. Like, I watched a couple races, and then they quit racing because there was like a pandemic or something going on. And then they came back, and I missed it. Chase Elliott won the championship. I didn't really follow it.
Kyle Larson said the N-word and got fired.
Kyle Larson is back in 2021. They had an interview. He had to do this interview like live before Daytona with this black guy interviewing him. Oh man, it was kind of
a little racist punk.
It's kind of painful to watch. Anyway, so he's back, which I can agree with. Like, you can't. I don't know. I agree with giving people a second chance, or people make mistakes and you grow. That's what being a person is, right? Whatever. I don't know. You can agree or disagree with that. All right. So 2021 now. 2019, the other Toyota team was Levine Family Racing, who was partnered with Joe Gibbs.
Yeah.
Like Furniture Row was in 2017 and 18. Furniture Row was partnered with Joe Gibbs. Furniture Row went out of business because they raised their partnership fee millions and millions of dollars. Levine Family Racing partnered with Joe Gibbs after Furniture Row was gone. They ran them out of business. They're closed. Gone.
Mm-hmm.
2020, whatever happened then, I didn't follow. 2021, Levine Family Racing is gone, but Michael Jordan is here with another Toyota.
And he's teamed with Joe Gibbs and Denny Hamlin.
So, also what happened was they had Martin, if you're following me, if people at home are following me at all, if you don't follow this, you're probably lost. Eric Jones and Martin Truex were driving for Joe Gibbs. Eric Jones got kicked out.
Yeah.
He went to Petty, the 43, and then they put Christopher Bell in there. So Furniture Row was a holding place for Jones and Truex until they had spot for him. When at Joe Gibbs when Daniel Suarez wasn't winning enough. They kicked him out of the 20. He was actually in the 19. I'm confusing myself now. Anyway, they kicked him out.
I know what you mean.
They kicked him out. They put Jones in Furniture Row. Then they put him in Joe Gibbs. He wasn't winning enough. They kicked him out. So now they brought Martin in also, and then they brought Christopher Bell in. I'm confusing myself now. Anyway, Furniture Row, these small teams, Furniture Row, Levine Family Racing, Michael Jordan, are just placeholders until Joe Gibbs can kick out their worst driver and then put them in there.
It's like Farm League for MLB, except you're playing in the same league. So Eric Jones got kicked out of Gibbs to Petty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that Petty spot opened up because Bubba Wallace left the 43 and went to 2311 with Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin to be the placeholder. They want Bubba Wallace.
Yeah.
If he could race.
They brought him in because he's the only black driver, right? Michael Jordan's a black team owner. Maybe.
There's some politics, potentially, yes.
Anyway, I didn't hear that, but they talked about Michael Jordan's the only black team owner and Bubba Wallace is the only black driver. They talked briefly about that, so I kind of think that's what may have happened. But so then they shut down Furniture Row. They shut down Levine Family Racing. Now there's Michael Jordan. I'm counting 1, 2, 3.
Michael Jordan. And
I don't know what's going to happen next, but I was kind of explaining that. I did a better job of explaining this to the guy at work, and he was just like, "What the fuck?"
It's a hot mess, and then you got to have charters, and it's just money pouring into stuff. So. Did you see Bubba Wallace at Daytona, though? He actually was fairly competitive.
Didn't he start like 8th or something? Way up there, I think, or maybe better.
He started top 20, and he stayed there till like 15 to go. He had a wheel come loose, so then he had to pit, and then he was down a lap, but he helped. He was still in the lead pack when he came back on.
Oh, I didn't know. So this is how my day went. I hooked up my antenna. My digital antenna that I bought when I got the new TV. I got one because we put my old TV upstairs in the living room. And I got it. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I got it. And it comes in and it was good. So we watched all the crap before with Kyle Larson and Michael Jordan and all that stuff.
And it rained.
So they started the race and I kind of watched the first few races or for first few laps. Nothing happened. We were cooking in the kitchen. And then I was out there cooking and I hear like, oh my God, from like the announcers. So I run out there. It's lap 15. Someone up in the front crashed 15 cars into the mud, destroyed. I thought they destroyed all of them, really.
It was bad.
And then when that happened, they red flagged it because it was raining.
Yeah.
So we left it on for a while and then we just basically shut it off and went on with our day. And I never went back to it. And then I heard that they finished it that night.
Yeah, we watched it, and then we went to town. I was like, well, it rained or whatever, so I think we went and had lunch and groceries or something and came back. And then I was watching something on the computer, and the wife's like, oh, hey, look, it's back on. So we watched it, watched the rest of the race. I was like, oh, man. So it was cool to watch it. They had a pretty big wreck, right? Turn 3 and 4 coming to the checkered flag. And that's how that McDonald, I think his name, won. It was pretty cool. He's been around for a while. I remember seeing him. The Love's car.
McDowell.
McDowell.
Michael McDowell.
Michael McDowell. I was trying to say McDowell.
He drove for Levine back in like 2017. Drove the 95.
He drove a few of those cars over the years. So he was a pretty cool guy. Everybody was like, yeah, hell yeah, good for him. He deserved it because I guess he's just been there slugging it out for years. So that was cool. Yeah,
he seemed like a good guy, and he seemed like he kind of gets the shaft just a little bit every year. But yeah, so I don't know. There's all kinds of bullcrap going on, and then I didn't finish watching it, and I was looking up who won the other day, and then I got distracted by something else, and I don't know who won. Who won the Daytona?
Michael McDowell.
He won?
There was a big wreck. It was awesome. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He won the race.
Okay. I don't
So
know.
they're coming through the corner, and Jamie McMurray, who's back this year after 2 years off. Why was he off? Was he doing meth or something like that?
I thought he retired because he went and did like the TV thing. He was the talking guy in the TV. Just like Clint Boyer is now.
Clint Boyer is excellent. I love his commentary.
He's funny. I've always thought he was a funny guy.
He's got good energy. I hope he keeps it up. And I hope Fox doesn't fire him, but I don't have a lot of hope for that. But yeah, so they were coming. Jamie McMurray was pushing Logano or Larson, somebody, I don't know. Anyway, McMurray pulled out for the pass. Logano blocked him. They all spun. Big fiery wreck. The back of McMurray's car, he went up up above the safer barrier, backwards into the fence, and it ripped the whole back clip off behind the axle, which is where the fuel tank is. And there was a lot of fire. It was huge. A lot of cars got caught up in it. But that McDowell was the first one clear of it. It was awesome. It was pretty epic. You should go watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Lots of fire.
I'll probably
Big
look
fire.
it up. What they got? Are they racing tomorrow at Bristol?
No, tomorrow is Daytona Road Course.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't look up I got it on my calendar, actually. It just auto populates it every year. But I saw a picture on Facebook and it said something about Bristol. I didn't actually look it up. Oh.
No, Daytona Road Course.
So my mom, I don't know if I should do it or not, and she's going to hear this, because I'm trying. All right, so she asked if we want to go to Road America in Wisconsin for the race on July 4th. So also July 4th, July 7/11, 7/8 is Laura's birthday, and then 7/11 is Will's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be the whole birthday thing. We get to go to a road course. But I'm wondering how fun it's actually going to be to go to a road course in person and watch it. Because you can only see like your little section, whatever, if you're on a turn or a straightaway. And then you just got to watch it on the TVs anyway. Whereas, I don't know. I suppose you're doing that no matter where you are, unless you're at Bristol or Martinsville.
I think it will be more fun than you think it'll be. We went to a road race here in Colorado. It was a hill climb outside Central City. So you don't get to see the whole thing. You just get to see them go by like one car every minute. And it was still awesome. It was really cool. I would not hesitate. I would go. Road America is not a normal course for NASCAR, so I think
this is their first year doing it for a while at least.
I think it'd be super interesting to go watch that race. And you get to go home.
Well, another thing that I was talking to Laura about earlier, and we've talked about in past years, is driving to Kansas for that race, because that's the closest track. It's about an 8-hour drive from here. So,
you know where you should go? Phoenix.
Oh. How far away is Phoenix?
It's like probably a 12 to 14-hour drive for you. But
that's too far.
I'm not done yet. They got camping there. Big, it's a big deal to camp there and then go to the race.
You know,
and we could go to the championship race.
Where's that going to be? Phoenix?
At Phoenix.
Let's do it.
It's in, so the Phoenix race is in like, I don't know, like a month. And then there's another one at the end of the last one of the year in freaking November.
It'd take me 11 days to walk there, in case you were wondering. Oh, actually, only 10 days and 12 hours.
I feel like it might take you longer than 10 days to walk there.
Hey, that's what Google says. Hey, it only takes 3 days to ride your bike. Wow. That's significantly faster.
Pedal your bicycle.
And 14-hour drive. Man, that's like driving to Illinois. I thought Phoenix was closer, I guess.
Well, fine.
But you see, Kansas is only like 8 hours. So that's what we were thinking. We could actually we could say, a lot of times it's on Saturday too. So maybe we could take a Friday off drive on Friday, go to the race Saturday, and then drive back on Sunday, and then we don't have to take like one day off of work.
Kansas is like the second most boring track left.
Yeah, right.
Compared,
I know.
Like, they got rid of Chicago, and I know you guys won at Chicago, but that race was so boring.
I didn't see it. I was running tires on the freaking dolly.
Not like that particular race, but in general, mile and a half ovals, Chicago,
Yeah.
Michigan, California, not
California's Sonoma. That's the road track.
Fontana and Sonoma, not the road course, the oval, the mile and a half oval.
Fontana's that one, I think.
Yeah, that one's boring as hell because it's the same. It's the same shape. It's the same banking. It's just like kill me. At least like Texas is similar, but the tri-oval's flat, so it's kind of. Atlanta is similar, but the tri-oval's flat. Charlotte is the OG of that.
That one's shaped funny, isn't it?
Charlotte?
Something about Charlotte. I don't remember. It's been so long since I followed this. I don't remember the details of all of them. Isn't it shaped a little weird?
Charlotte's just different, and Charlotte's always interesting because it's like the home track, so everybody's pretty gamey, you know. Whereas Chicago, it's like get in line and ride around, and maybe on pit road somebody will make a mistake and life will be good.
I was right there when I went to North Carolina. Levine Family Racing was like right across the street. I was right at the track.
From Charlotte?
Yeah.
Charlotte's cool because like when we drove up from the interstate and you start getting close and there's the Z-Max Dragway, I think, is right there with the four wides. And then like just stoplight. And then there's Charlotte right there, which is pretty cool. And then I think there's a dirt track that way to the right where we were. So it was really neat driving through there. We drove through during the Z-Max four wides like a week before the Charlotte fall race.
I just was looking at that like I've never used that.
I'm
listening to you.
I always wanted to when COVID's over, because I have a cousin who lives there. Shout out if he's there. If he watches, he doesn't. Nobody watches.
He will now. I saw we lost a subscriber since we quit doing it. Just one.
Whoever you are, we'll find you.
Yeah, we don't like you anymore. We don't love you.
But I thought, how cool would it be to fly to Charlotte, go to the NHRA, hang out for a week? Because there's a lot of cool shit to do in Charlotte. Actually, I would like to go back seriously. See a lot of those race shops and old Mecklenburg Brewery. God, that was so good. I want to go back there. And then go to Hillbilly Roundy Round the following weekend. I think the Coke 400 is the fall race there. Yeah.
Yeah. We got Laura's dad Coke 600 tickets a couple of years. 2018 maybe? That was like their Christmas present or something.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Huh?
Are we moving on from NASCAR?
Yeah, we can. I don't know that I got a lot more to say to it other than there's a lot of bull crap going on, and I did a bad job of explaining it, and I could probably go on longer. I have this that Will and I were building today.
Oh, it's a Wally.
Look inside here.
Does it move?
Yeah. All these gears in here.
Whoa.
And this goes to an electric motor, which is, it's in there. Anyway, this is a solar panel.
Mm-hmm.
And this powers electric motor, and we're gonna end up building it's called the turtle robot. Hold on, I know what page it is. So it's
a Wally.
It's gonna end up can we get a focus? There we go. It's gonna end up looking like that. These are gonna be like little legs, and it's gonna walk by itself.
Oh, cool.
But you can make all these different freaking guys. There's a whole bunch you can make out of the same thing. So we started building it. It's for 10 years and older, and it took us like 2 hours to build this, just the body and the head. So,
well, you got to get a 10-year-old involved, and you'll be okay. You're both underage. You're doing pretty good.
It's hard for me because the parts are so tiny. I can't reach it.
You got those big, fat body man hands now.
They come in here. These are the bigger ones, but some of them are really tiny. and my skin is so dry and my fingers are big and it just slips out of my hand and flies away. But anyway, we were doing that. Also, I have these on because these things broke again. I sent them back to the lady who gave me half price repair on them because I send them in every 9 months.
6 weeks.
So this is what happened here. So I took this apart because I was losing one. One. So this wire broke. And I was just going to cut it off and then resolder these because 2 of them go here. How do you fucking... Come on. And then 2 of them go over here. But these wires are so tiny.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is not helping. They're so small, I can't... It's really hard for me to do. But so I'm going to have to... I just want to get a new jack, cut it off, throw this one away, and then redo it instead of trying to unsolder and resolder. So I'm wearing these big fat ones. In case anyone's wondering. Yeah, we can move on. I was gonna. There was something I was thinking about. Unless you got something that you want to say first, I was thinking like in my head like, all right, let's see if we can get ourselves canceled. Our first one back here because of this.
Oh, what do you
say? It's not important, I guess, right now, but it was something that I did the other day. I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about the George Floyd body cam footage. And I was like, I'd never seen that. So I looked it up, and on YouTube you can watch. It's an hour long. Half of it is from one cop, and the other half's from another cop. And I watched it, and I didn't really have an opinion either way when all that happened because my own opinion is I don't know exactly what happened. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. We saw this one video and that's all we know. So I watched the body cam footage and that part in the video that went viral is just like almost none of it. Did you see it?
I don't think I've watched an hour of it. No, not as much as you have, apparently.
I don't know that it's important enough to debate over it, but I can say one thing. The one cop pulled his gun on him right away when I don't think he had to. The only thing I'm thinking is George was in the driver's seat of the car he went up to. There was 2 other people in the car that he couldn't see, so maybe he got freaked out. Other than that, he fought the cops the whole way. He did not do one thing that they asked him to do. And then, after 20 minutes, when they finally got him in the back of the cop car, he jumped out the other side of the car into the street. And that's when they tackled him down, and that's when the one that went viral saw it. The one that everyone saw happened. All I want to say is, he didn't do anything that the cops asked him to do the whole time. They found a pipe in his pocket. And I don't know that I would be particularly... I don't think I would have expected to be treated any better if I was acting like that to the cops.
Yeah,
I know that no one's going to agree with me, but that's just kind of what I felt when I was watching it. I was like, there's no way that I could do this to the cops. 3 of them, and have them be like, oh yeah, you're cool because you're white, you know?
No, you probably couldn't. But were any of those things worth killing him over?
But then again, I don't know that I necessarily agree of how they held him to the ground. No, they maybe should... They should not have done that. He jumped out of the side of the car. They held him down. The guy kneeled on him until the ambulance got there. That probably should not have happened.
There were mistakes made on both sides, just with anything that happens like that. It's not totally one-sided either way. No matter how belligerent somebody's being, do they deserve to die because they're belligerent?
No, and I don't think that he deserved to die. I think they could have held him down in a different way that would have been better. They maybe could have tried to get him back into the back of the car from that side. There's things they could have done.
And I think that's why people were frustrated, and especially during that time, people were just pissed. People were tired of it.
People were pissed off already too. Yeah.
Yeah. And not to say either side's right or wrong. I don't know how I would react in that situation, but I think people are just frustrated that, I mean, did the guy do anything violent?
No, he didn't.
But did he have a gun? Was he hitting people? Was he randomly hitting people? Or was he just trying to get away?
I saw him kick one of them once, but he was laying on the ground and he like just straightened his legs out and ended up kicking one of them. I don't think he purposely was just like kicked him.
Could they like cuffed him and hobbled him instead of leaning on his neck?
He was cuffed. They cuffed him before they brought him across the street to the police car. They were trying to put him in the car. He's like, "Can you please put the window down? I'm claustrophobic. I'm scared. I'm claustrophobic." And they're like, "Yeah, we'll put the window down." This went on for like 15 minutes before they got him in there, and he jumped out the other side. I'm not saying what happened was right or anything. That's just kind of what I felt when I was watching it. I felt...
No, for sure. Like, this guy's being an asshole.
I felt he was resisting them the entire way.
Mm-hmm.
And then since all of that happened, when they got to the point where they were holding him down, they were just like, "Screw you, man. We're done with this." And
F this noise.
And that's ultimately what happened.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of truth to that, and it's unfortunate all the way around. Yeah, there's no easy answer to any of that stuff. None.
I don't think anyone deserves to die from it. It's
no.
But
I mean, I've been a belligerent asshole once or twice, but not that belligerent.
Yeah. There was there was that, and I thought I would mention that because that was an interesting thing, an interesting different perspective from everything else I've ever seen. Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to talk about way a long time ago that we haven't done this in so long. Actually, I think I was going home on a Friday, and I don't remember, maybe I did tell you about it. Anyway, it was that long ago that I thought we were going to record and then we didn't, or maybe it was the last time we recorded. I have a new fear now, and it's airplanes landing on the interstate when I'm driving on it. I was, did I tell you about it? I told someone about it.
A plane landed on the highway in front of you?
No, but it freaked me out though. I was coming up 225, like next to Cherry Creek Reservoir. So it's just like four lanes, and then there's a big hill and there's a reservoir over on the other side. And there's a small airport like on the back side of the reservoir somewhere. So there was a plane that it looked like to me the size of one of those like United Express jets that had the two small jets like on the tail.
Mm-hmm.
So it came out over the reservoir. You see my hand? And it made a turn, and I'm on the interstate, and it like came around and lined up, and it was pretty low. Like I'm gonna land. I'm thinking about landing low, and I might be touching down here, boys and girls. Hold on. I'm coming this way. This plane's coming this way, and I'm like, oh, like should I like get the hell out of here? Should I slow down? Should I speed up? What should I do? And
do I need to pull over?
There was a good couple minutes where I was convinced this plane was gonna land in front of me. And then it didn't. It kept going. I was like, okay. So that happened. Another thing, I think it's too old now for us to get canceled over it, but the Ellen thing where everyone said Ellen was a bitch. There was someone that explained, maybe it was a news. I watched Philip DeFranco on YouTube for my news. Maybe he was reading a statement from somebody. He's like, he's reading all these things. It's been so long now, I don't remember. He's like, people are making racist jokes. They're being rude to each other. They're making, they're talking about sexist jokes, and they're saying bad words. I don't know, just crap like that. And I'm reading those. I'm like, okay. That sounds exactly like every job I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Exactly. Every shop.
Every mechanic shop I've ever worked at. Yep. Racist. Yep. Sexist. Yep.
Sexual harassment jokes, stuff.
Uh-oh. Where'd you go?
Can you hear me?
Testing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can hear you now.
Oh, there we go. Now I'm back on mine. I just like touched the wire a little bit.
You sound really funny.
Whoa.
Kind of, maybe.
That sounds back normal to me.
That's normal.
Okay. I might need to get a new microphone.
A lot like this.
Yeah, no, that happened on my stream the other night. He's like, it sounds really weird. It's like really slow. And then when I watched it back, I was like, what the fuck? It's really low and slow. So this has got one USB plug here.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just old enough that it's it's loose. And if you touch it, I might need to get a new one. Upgrade.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think those are all the things that I had been thinking about for months that I wanted to talk about.
Okay, fair enough.
So I think I'm caught up now.
Okay. I had the Rona. Me.
Oh yeah,
My
dude, I
wife
forgot
had the
about
Rona.
that again.
That was awful. Don't get the Rona. I went on a lot of trips. Saw a lot of things. We went on the Rim Rocker Trail. That was awesome. Saw some nuclear stuff.
What's that?
Nuclear? It's nuclear.
On a trail?
Yeah, I put in the Simpsons clip where he says that right there.
Which
Homer says I think like Bart, nuclear. It's pronounced nuclear.
Now, Simpson, because of your many years as a nuclear technician, we're putting you on a nuclear sub.
Nuclear. It's pronounced nuclear.
Oh, whatever.
Nuclear.
That's all he knows about his job.
I can do that.
So we went on the Rim Rocker Trail from Montrose to Moab on dirt, 160 miles of dirt. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed at the first campground right outside of Montrose. We stayed there the first night because I got off work, Steph got off work, and we hauled ass to Montrose. And then we were really late, so we got Freddy's and drove to the first campsite and got there after dark, and we slept, and it was awesome. This lady who's wasted, this old lady came and talked to us for like 3 hours, which was funny. And it was the worst camp bathroom I've ever experienced. It was horrible. It was bad. But then we went the next morning to Nucla, and then we went to this little town called Uravan, which doesn't exist anymore, but it was uranium and vanadium mining. So it's on national registry. Like, you can't dig there because you get cancer. It was really cool to see, though. Most of the atom bombs got their nuclear materials from that area, so that was really cool. And we found a place called Buckeye Reservoir. Really cool.
That's crazy. There's just like, I don't normally think of nuclear like uranium as just like iron in a mine that you're just like pickaxe. Psh.
Yeah, basically that's what it is out here.
Radioactive rocks? Is it? I don't even know. Is it like rock? Is it solid like that?
I haven't seen any in person because it'll kill you.
Yeah.
But basically, my understanding is it's rock. And you dig the rock out just like gold mining or whatever, and you chip the ore out, and they take it to the mill and refine it.
Weird.
I don't know if there's like uranium veins in the rock. It's not like that. It's like rock that's very heavy with it. They break it all down and do all sorts of magic. There was a mill here in Durango back in the day, so it was pretty cool. We drove past what they call the hanging plume. It's several miles. They built this flume along the San Miguel River to a gold mill back in the day, so they fixed part of it and rebuilt it. It was really cool. And we drove through a canyon, and we drove through the town of Paradox, which was cool.
That sounds cool.
up a mountain. Yeah, paradox is weird because the river flows north and there it doesn't happen in a lot of places. So it's paradox. It's actually an old salt dome and the salt is collapsing, so it's constantly sinking.
Hmm.
So it's kind of trippy to think about.
Is it just going to continue to sink, or is it eventually just going to be like a sinkhole?
I think it's going to continue to sink as long as the salt keeps getting washed away by the river.
Oh, that's weird.
But the water's like underground, so it's weird. It's trippy, and it's the desert, so it's also weird. And we drove up this random dirt road up a cliff and camped. There was like us and another guy in a truck like us, and then a guy with a camper across the river, across the lake, which was really cool. And there were deer, and that was really neat. We drove that from there to Moab that next day, and it was really cool. You'd enjoy it. Most of it's pretty easy. Like you can drive the Dodge or pick 'em up truck. Probably not the Golf. A good amount of it you can drive the Golf, but not all of it.
It is all-wheel drive, but it's a little bit lower than stock now.
That's the problem.
Oh man, that thing is still going on.
Still?
What did I tell you last? I had to get the whole evap system replaced right after I picked it up from Illinois.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I spent $10,000. I don't even remember. It's been so long now. I think I had spent $10,000 to get it back from the dealer in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
We went out there in June, May, June. I don't know, something like that. 2020. Laura and I picked it up, drove it back, got a check engine light, evap code, took it to the Volkswagen dealer because the stuff that they did in Illinois is under warranty by Volkswagen.
Mm-hmm.
So I took it to them. They found that the okay, this is what it is. It's the rollover valve. So when you roll over, this valve closes so that your fuel doesn't leak out all over the place. Well, in the gas tank. So that got stuck open. So when you fill it up and you drive around, it sloshes around, fuel gets where it's not supposed to. It gets into the evap lines, which fills up your evap canister, which purges raw fuel unmetered into the intake whenever it feels like.
That's super healthy for it.
So they replaced all that stuff for a low price of $4,000.
Jesus Christ.
Fuel tank, all that stuff. Well, that guy that's working on it, I guess him and the service manager came from like this Porsche thing. They used to do like Porsche and Volkswagen and Audi racing teams or some shit like that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, everybody that I talked to there agrees that he's like the best one to work on it. This guy finds that there is a high pressure. He said high pressure, but I don't know if it's actually high pressure, high volume fuel pump in the thing that I didn't know about.
That's weird.
So I could have gotten the bigger turbo and the injectors and all that crap. I didn't even know because I didn't know I'd have a high performance fuel pump. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So they do all that. I'm taking it back to him all the time because now it's got a idle RPM higher than expected code. So basically it's getting some, you can watch it. If you're driving, you stop at a light, you can hear the engine rev a little bit and then the tach will be like, pink. It'll just jump to where it is. It kind of goes all over.
Weird.
Intermittently, I'll lose power completely. Radio, dash lights, everything off for like 1 second and it'll come back on. And then it'll be like beep, 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 brake error. You know, just all the warning stuff going off.
Yeah, like when you P-cycle it basically, but does the engine shut off?
No.
Just the interior stuff.
Yeah, even the floor lights and everything. So that happens. That's just a thing that happens.
Oh my God.
But also it was getting an intake. All right, no. The Volkswagen guy said, I think it's the mass airflow sensor or oxygen sensor. It's getting some type of fuel reading that it's calculating incorrectly. So I went, oh no, first he thought it was the throttle body. So I went and bought one of those through the shop, our shop where I work. So I got a discount on it. It was only like $400. I put that on there. Didn't fix it. Then he said it's a mass airflow sensor. I got one of those. I put it on. And then that's when I got the second code, which was intake air leak. So I took it back out, put my old one in. That code went away. I sprayed it down. I checked leaks and everything. Took it back to the Volkswagen dealer. They had it for 3 weeks. They gave me a rental car or a loaner car. They had it for 3 weeks. They swapped parts out, oxygen sensors, mass airflow sensors, throttle bodies, anything you can think of. They did a extensive leak test. They couldn't find anything wrong with it. So their best guess, or whatever the conclusion they came to, is that it has an aftermarket tune on it. And the tune, somewhere in the tune, has an error that it's getting mass air and oxygen sensor data or whatever, and it's getting a calculation error.
So why don't they just flash a factory tune on it?
So they could flash it to factory, which is going to cost me like $350, which is nothing now. I don't even care about that. I'm this far into this thing now. $350 is nothing if it's going to fix it. So they can do that, but since it has all these parts on it, the fuel pump, it's got the exhaust and the cold air, and that's really all of that stuff that I know about, because there's the clutch, the motor mount, stuff like that. There's external stuff. There's not
nothing mechanical, really.
So they could flash it to stock. It may cause more problems because it's got the fuel pump and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the fuel pump, if anything, it should just see that there's a higher fuel pressure and throttle back.
In theory, it should be able to figure it out. But in theory, none of this should have happened in the first place. So,
in theory, I feel like you should have just sold this thing when the motor went south, and I think you'd been money.
I should have abandoned it in Illinois and just taken the collections hit.
Taking it into pooper and moved on with your life.
But their point
now
was
you're taking it in both ends.
Their point was it's drivable now, so we don't know if we want to do this. If they do it and it ends up frying the computer or something, that's $1,800 to replace that thing. So they said, hey, do this. Go talk to these tuner shops and see if they can go in there and see if they can find out what's wrong with it and either fix it or either adjust it or put a different tune or fix it somehow. So at our other shop at work, we have a dyno, an all-wheel drive dyno, and a guy that tunes stuff. So I took it over there. He looked at it. He saved a copy of the tune that's on it. He said, I'm going to look into it, see what I can find. 2.5 weeks later, I finally get the guy's number from my supervisor, and I text him like, hey, what'd you find? I'm just wondering if you found anything. Do I need to bring it back over there? He's like, oh, man, I completely spaced it. All right, fine. I'll just take it to the place. I just need to know so I can either take it to you or take it somewhere else. So
I'll slide it on fire behind the shop tonight. Don't worry.
So he said, hey, there's this other guy that I know that works at that shop like intermittently because he's just like so rich he doesn't need to work. But he's like way into stuff like this, like getting inside the tune and finding out what's happening and what it should be doing. And he came over to the shop. Well, first I text him and he never replied to me. I'm like, well, fuck you guys. I'm going somewhere else. So then my boss got a hold of him and said, hey, what's your problem? He said, oh, I didn't even see it. So he came over, he talked to me. I showed him what's going on. He said, well, I'm the guy that can fix it. He's 100% confident he knows how to fix it.
Only costs.
Well, he has a Bronco topper that he needs painted. He says it's ready. It just needs to be wiped down and painted.
Ooh.
And I was like, we could do that. Bring it over on a Friday night. We'll come in Saturday and do it. So he came in like the next day with all his equipment and he was going through it and he was missing like one cable that he needed. It's like, shit. He didn't check it. He just grabbed his stuff, put it in the truck in case he was over. So I'm waiting for him to come back. He knows he can fix it. So there's that. My rear bumper's still broken. But if I can, I got emissions coming up in like April. So that's the only thing we're coming up that I'm going to need to do. So that's
Did they put your car on an all-wheel drive dyno and emissions test it?
Yeah. Yeah, they have an all-wheel drive lane. And all they do is drive it in, and it's got the two rollers, and the tire sits in between the two rollers, like this, but turned upside down.
Mhm.
And I was watching him do it, and the guy's watching the trace on the TV, and he's like going back and forth, and he's getting so close. I'm like, oh god! I was like, he didn't hit it. I don't know how. They don't strap it down or anything. They drive it on. They put a fan in front of it. They put the thing in up the tailpipe.
Right up the tailpipe.
And then they do it.
They put one up Cory to stretch him out because they know it's going to be another 10 grand every time he gets on that thing.
So I wasn't planning on talking about my car, but we just kind of got there. Where were we before that?
NASCAR.
Oh, Moab, all-wheel drive.
We were talking about your car probably couldn't do most of the trail, but it's good to get an update on your car. I owe you a letter, don't I?
A letter?
You were looking for letters, weren't you?
Oh yeah. No, that's another thing. Oh man, there's another thing in my car. Did that happen after we quit doing this last year? It did.
We were in progress. You asked me for a letter, but I totally spaced it because life came apart. But remind me again, and I'll get you a letter. I'm sorry.
You're the only one I sent it to, and I mainly sent it to you so that you could read it, but you can still write a letter, and I'll include that because I think I only have 2 other people. I had a meeting with the lawyers from the warranty company and a mediator. I got a hold of the mediator. The mediator got a hold of the lawyers. They set it up. We did a video call. And they said that if I can, basically, I was telling them, what you're saying is impossible. This is not how engines work. And I'm saying, this is how engine works. Here's examples. This is how it works. And I was looking at them, and they were just sitting here like they don't care. And then I was like, I'm just realizing there's nothing that I can say to you guys that's going to make you believe that I know what I'm talking about. So then the lady, the mediator, she like put us in our own corners and went and talked to us individually. And she came to me and she said, I talked to them. How about this? How about if you can go to 3 people from the automotive industry and have them write letters giving their opinion on if they think that a cold air intake can cause rocker arms to break, then we can use that. You can use that. And then the lawyers agreed on that also. So apparently they actually think that what they're saying is correct. They think either that or they think I'll never come through with this. Now, this was back in October. So now it's February 20th. It's taken me this long because I had all the stuff going on with my car. My sister got married. So we drove to Texas. The holidays happened. All kinds of crap was going on. I'm like, I can't deal with this right now. And then just the beginning of this month, I think I sat down one night down here and I just started writing and I typed an email that I think is good. I got the mechanic that worked on my car at the Volkswagen dealer here. I got the service manager, I think, from our other shop at work who has been doing this for 60 years or something. And then there's you. I thought I had someone else, but now I can't even remember who it was. And I need 3 letters at minimum.
Okay.
They also suggested that I've, which I keep forgetting to do, figure out what the brand of cold air and exhaust I have, and then write a letter to those brands saying that their product doesn't cause this. Yeah. So if I could come up with those and then 3 letters, I think I really have a case. But I also think that best case scenario, I'm going to get $3,000.
How much have you paid the lawyers and stuff already?
Oh man, I didn't even calculate that into what I've paid. I think I paid the lawyer that didn't do anything for me. I don't think I paid him $2,000. Maybe $2,000 at the most over like bills, $300 here throughout the months. That's another thing. The Illinois dealer broke the rear bumper, as far as I know. The lawyer, I had him go after them. The only thing he did was write them a letter, and then they never replied to him. And he's like, well, I thought a letter from me would have done something. Got him going, but I guess it doesn't. And I'm like, what now? He's like, nope, nothing I can do. That's it. All he can do is write him a letter. It pissed me off, man. I kind of yelled at him. So
Can I be frank?
I don't know any Franks, but yeah, I guess.
Can I say something and you won't be mad at me?
I don't get mad anymore. I'm just trying to live.
Maybe it's time to cut losses.
Okay, so here's the problem with that. I had this discussion with multiple people. I've spent $20,000 fixing this car,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still not fixed. 20.
Mm-hmm.
I owe $20,000 on this car, 22 probably. So that's 40,000. This car is worth at best 15,000. So let's say I sell it right now for 15,000. I still owe 7,000 on the loan. So then I have to get another car. So I'm going to have to go get another car with another loan for 20,000. And then I'll still own 7,000 on a car I don't have anymore that I've already spent 20,000 on. So the only way for me to not completely lose my ass is to keep it forever until it's worth more.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you see a way I can get out of the loan, unless somebody pays me 23,000 for it, which probably isn't going to happen.
No, I don't see that happening.
Unless there's something I'm not thinking of. I would have been more than happy. Like if I knew this was going to happen, I would have left it in Illinois and just taken the collections hit on it and said, screw it. But I didn't know this was going to happen. I thought I was going to spend 10,000 on the engine and then it was all going to be good. And now we're here.
Yeah. I definitely understand that point of view and how much money you had into it and how much heartbreak you've got into it. I just feel like maybe, I don't know. I personally couldn't keep going. I don't know a good way out, but I don't see it getting any better either.
Well, it's driving and running fine now. So if we can get the check engine light to stay off and the power to quit shutting off,
that would help a lot. Yeah.
I drive it every day. It runs and drives fine.
If the check engine light wasn't on, and I know it's got like a bumper issue and it has some other paint concern, right? But like overall, it's pretty decent.
Yeah.
You could only get 15 for it still?
That's what it was when I looked it up back when I was thinking about abandoning it.
Yeah.
So that's my problem is even if I got max what it's worth for it, I still owe 7,000 on it. So my problem is I don't see a way out of it that I'm not still going to owe more money on a car I don't have and then have to buy another car. So that's where I'm stuck.
True. That's true. I hate to see you throw good money after bad, kind of situation. Like, I know you're into it. Like that Jeep I had, remember the one I got to borrow at Dad's when I put a motor in it? And I was upside down on it. Like, I have way more money into that thing than I got out of it. And I got a lot of money out of it for what it was. I probably had 15, 20 grand in that Jeep and I got 5 for it.
Yeah, if I could find a way to sell it and have the loan go away,
yeah,
I'd probably do it. But that's my problem right now.
You're Biden bucks and rub them together and they'll make Biden dollars.
I didn't get that. Laura got it a long time ago, and then now I guess she read something that said that if you didn't get it you should get it in your tax return.
Oh yeah, you got to claim it on your taxes. Yeah, we didn't get our checks for a long time, and then we got them like 2 weeks ago, and I owe the tax man all that money, so it's going right back to him.
I haven't done my taxes.
The new tax rules are fucked, and Steph's one of Steph's jobs this year didn't take enough. The one she worked the most,
Mm-hmm.
they pulled like $500 in taxes, and they should have pulled like $2,500 in taxes. So,
Oh, jeez.
yeah, I'm definitely hosed. I'm FUKD fucked, but we're paying it.
I got a good one last year because I had Will on there. Plus, was it last year? It was 2020. No, it was 2019's tax return.
Yeah.
Because I was still working for Barney for like 6 months before I got this job.
There you
so
go.
my income was like half or less.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was all. That was definitely on book, 100%.
Yeah, we had to sign a, was it 1099 or something? We had to fill that out.
But he didn't. He didn't give you a 1099.
We filled it out when we first started, and then we never got a tax paper from him. So I waited a long time to make sure I wasn't going to get one from him.
Yeah, there you go. So it was all on the book.
Yeah.
It was all on the book. You did what you were supposed to do.
Oh, what else is going on? Michelle lives in Texas. My sister lives in Texas.
I thought she was living in Texas.
She does, and Texas is having all kinds of trouble right now.
Oh God, yeah. How's she doing?
Actually,
okay?
I think they're on the down. They're past the hump on it now. I think they're coming back. Yeah, they're more on the east side of Texas, and the map that I saw was like straight down the middle of it is where the most problems were. So I think.
Where are they at in Texas?
Tyler,
Texas? I know where Tyler, Texas is.
It's about to Louisiana. Like, it's not that far.
Yeah. Outside of Nacogdoches, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't look that close.
You remember Halstead from Wyotech?
Mm-hmm.
He lived outside Nacogdoches, Texas. He's from that area. Your sister could have met fucking Halstead. Holy crap.
So, yeah, they had all. I was watching a podcast Friday, and they were showing all these TikToks of people, their houses, and the water leaking in the roof, and then the ceiling falling in, and houses flooded, and a guy laying in his bathtub. Or I don't know if he was in his bathtub, but he was in his shower. He was in his bathroom, and he said he's just laying there like crying, like, I got all my coats on. I got the hot water on to get heat in here. He's like, if you have heat at your house, I will pay you to let me come over. It was all horrible. And man, the day that I watched those George Floyd things was the day that I really heard about all the stuff that was going on in Texas. And I was just like fucking pissed all day. I was just like, it's unbelievable that they built these utility systems so shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking, oh, it'll never get cold down here. This is Texas, huh?
Well, they did it on purpose. They purposely set up their grid so that the feds could not come in and tell them they had to do this, that, or the other thing.
Yeah.
And then they hose themselves. And these hillbillies, not all of them, there's a lot of good people that are just getting hosed. But they'll vote for the same people that allowed this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then they went on freaking, I don't know what it was, some news thing saying, this is what happens when you have the Green New Deal. Your wind turbines ice up, your solar panels get snow on them, and then people are dying because it's the Green New Deal's fault.
Yeah, bunch of idiots. And then Ted Cruz went to Cancun. Fucking moron. How stupid do you got to be like, oh, I'm just going to get on a plane and go, like our mayor in Denver. That idiot, during the Rona, he tried to go down to Texas or wherever shithole he's trying to go to. Ted Cruz is trying to escape to Cancun for the weekend. It's like, dude, really bad optics. Really bad. How can you be so powerful and so stupid?
The guys at work call him Was it Polis? They call him pole smoker.
Yeah, they do that in my work too. He's my boss. I mean, what?
Well, it could have been worse. He could have been like California. Did you hear? I listen to Joe Rogan and people that live in California, so I hear about all the. Well, he doesn't live there anymore. He lives in Texas now.
Dumbass.
But
Dumb.
that freaking guy out there, Newsom, he screwed that place up so bad. They were saying that 75% of restaurants are just gone forever out there. Like, they're just opening stuff up like within the last couple weeks.
New Mexico still doesn't have inside dining.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Steph wanted to go to the Roadhouse, Texas Roadhouse, and that's in New Mexico. So I called down there, and I'm like, hey, what's your situation? Because I haven't been to New Mexico in like a year. He goes, well, we're still, it's outside patio dining only, and it's a 2.5 hour wait. And this was at 4:30. I said, all right, well, thanks.
Yeah.
It's 30 degrees out and windy, and it's a 2.5 hour wait to eat outside.
Eat outside. Yeah, no way.
I'm good. I don't need the Roadhouse that much.
Speaking of 2.5 hour waits, they opened one of them there In-N-Out burgers here in Aurora.
Ooh, did you go?
No, because they have to have special lanes around the mall for the line. So
It's that all out there? That's awesome.
It's still like that too. Laura said her coworker just said like this week, she's like, yeah, I went to In-N-Out. I only had to wait an hour instead of however long they had to wait before. So here's how I am with that. Well, I've been there. Okay, I'll give you my opinion on it here in a minute. Not to this one. I've been to one in Vegas.
I think we've talked about it now before, but yeah.
On Friday, we do like frozen pizza because Laura cooks like every night of the week. So I was like, hey, I want Qdoba. I'm going to stop at Qdoba on the way home. You can get whatever you want. So I drove over to Qdoba. I pulled up. There was like 4 people in line, but it looked really long because they were spaced out. I pulled up, I saw it, and I just went straight back in reverse. I was like, I'm not standing in line for 5 minutes for Qdoba. You know, Qdoba is my favorite, and I'm like, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to go home.
Qdoba is your favorite, especially since they brought the queso back.
And you know what else now is I can't eat anywhere because they all have gluten. Well, some places have like gluten-free options. Qdoba nachos, though we did find out that the chips may and or may not have gluten in them, so I just get it and I take it home and use my own chips. But I can't just go to Taco Bell or McDonald's or Arby's. There's a select few places you got to look it up and know. Like actually, a customer wanted to get us Jimmy John's the other day, and they had a lettuce wrap, gluten-free. But who knows, man? They could have touched the bread and then touched that. You know, it's.
So talk to me about celiac. What does it do? What does it affect? How does it? Tell me all about it. I don't know enough about it.
I talked to a nutritionist because I had to go to the gastro doctor after. All right, wait. Let me back up. Will, my son, we found out he has celiac because he was just diarrhea and puking every night all of a sudden. Every night.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember you saying stuff about that.
So we got him tested, found out that he like maxed out the scale. He was like 99 maxed out. So they said it's always hereditary. So Laura and I should get tested. Laura got tested. She didn't have it. I'm like, all right. So eventually when I got into the stupid goddamn healthcare system in this fucking country, oh my God,
Yeah.
I got a whole nother rant about that too, which we can get into later. Dude, I've just been like,
your blood pressure seems high, so take a breath and let's talk about this, and then we'll go on a rant.
Freaking out about all the idiots lately. Anyway.
There's a lot of them.
So I got mine tested, and I was like 43, and when I'm looking at the scale, it says less than 10 is negative, is you're not celiac.
And this is a blood test, I'm assuming?
Yeah, this one's a blood test. So, I mean, I'm high enough that it's pretty certain.
Yeah, yeah, fairly reasonable.
So I go to the gastro doctor, who they say I have to go to next, and talk to him. He doesn't have anything else to tell me other than they want to do an intestine biopsy where they...
He's like, yep, You got it.
He's like, hold on, let me check. Yep. Pay me $1,000.
Cool. I'm glad I paid you $250
Dude,
for a specialist visit, you dick.
It's more than that, too. So they want to go in my mouth, down my esophagus, through my stomach, to my small intestine, and take a biopsy. Yeah, and then they come out my ass and then go back in my mouth. I don't know why. Anyway, no.
That's got to be your clip for this video. Then they come out of my ass back.
I was like, is that really necessary? They're like, oh, yeah. So.
Oh, yeah. Here's my GoPro.
Yeah. It's like, do you have a YouTube channel? And they're like, why do you ask? So they take a biopsy.
No, it's on OnlyFans.
Yeah. Do you have a Pornhub account or what?
Oh, God. Shelty goes ATM.
I was like, you know what? No, I don't want to do this. I'm positive that I have it. Like, this one just has a better...
Because then he's going to go, yep, you still got it.
You still got it. This one has
$1,000.
Is more reliable test. I was like, no, you know what? I was like, I just been to all these doctors and specialists and getting a CT scan and all this crap trying to figure out what's wrong with my ear, and nothing's wrong with my ear. They couldn't find a damn thing wrong with my ear, and my ear's still messed up. And I still owe them all kinds of money. And I did the sleep study, which I don't think I told you about either. As if you could see here, I got this freaking sore right here because I got a CPAP machine, and the corners of it go here, and it sits under my nose. I was going to bring it down so I could show you, but it sits kind of like that. So that's a whole nother thing too.
All right. So you're a celiac.
So I was like, no, I don't want to do this.
One medical anomaly at a time. You have celiac disease. You're fairly confident. High case probability. Enough that we're saying you have it.
So when I was leaving there, they said I should talk to a nutritionist. And I'm like, all right, I should probably do that anyway. I'll do that. So after like 2 months, I got this appointment. And they told me all the things like, so it's basically like on a microscopic level. If I have some food, like Laura's got brownies on the counter, for example. If I set my food down and one of those brownie crumbs gets on my food, that counts as your intestines being exposed to it, and it's going to damage your intestines for 7 days before that gets through. So
from like one crumb.
Yeah. It's so bad that she told me that Will and I need a separate toaster. We need separate butter tubs or anything that you stick a knife in and spread. You can't spread something on bread and then stick the knife back in there. I can't use it anymore.
Whoa.
Well, so I'm not that bad. Will is that bad.
Okay. Either way, close enough. I mean,
but the point is, it still does damage if I eat something on accident.
So you've been eating for 30, let's call it 30 years. We're going to round down today. Make us both feel better about our age.
Let's round down
for
to
30
25.
years, you've been eating gluten. And you have like the insides of a 90-year-old now?
You'd think it would cause more damage. It's stuff that you just grow up with, so you're used to it. So I don't know if I ate something. I had this instant coffee that we had in the cabinet for a while. I like it because we have it when we go camping, and it reminds me of going camping, and I like it. Anyway, I made it, and I was reading it. It's so hard because some things they say maltodextrin, which is it sugar? It's malt. Basically, like when you make beer, you get malt extract. It's basically sugar, I think. Maltodextrin from wheat or barley, unless it says made from corn, which is fine. This one didn't say. Did it? One of them. We have two of them. One says, one doesn't. Anyway. So I had I feel huge right now. Like I feel super fat, even though I am super fat. I feel more fat than normal. But I haven't gone back to eating it regularly. We just like started doing this and we're just going with it because Will has to eat it anyway. So
Yeah.
So I don't know that I can tell you that I've noticed a difference, but I know that there is a difference. Like if I went back to eating like I was, like when I went to talk to the gastro guy, I had leftover noodles for breakfast, like spaghetti, and then I took more for lunch.
Yeah.
And so like was having it 3 meals a day sometimes just because that's what there was.
You're eating a gluten heavy diet anyway.
If I went back to that, I'm sure that I would feel it or crap my pants or have lots of gas or, skin stuff. I don't know that I have, I had the eczema for maybe 20 years of my life. I had really bad eczema. Now my thumb's kind of fucked up. It got dry and it was cracking. But my thumbs have always done that. But other than that, like
your hands are looking better.
I don't have anything else. Like from time to time, I'll get a spot somewhere that gets dry for a little while. But I mean, that could have been it.
I remember your whole face was red one time, like from wearing a mask. Like you had all sorts of stuff going on.
That happened here at one time, right here. It just got super red.
Yep.
And then it like freaking died and peeled off once. So yeah, I've had skin issues in the past.
And those seem to be better?
I can't say that I'm having any problems with them. The one thing I have problems with is that mask. We got another dry spot here. It was really bad before we stick this stuff called moleskin on it, which is kind of like
magic.
Just a square of Band-Aid sticky fabric. You stick on there so it's like a barrier. But it gets really dry right here, so I have to put lotion on my face every day. But that's because I got this thing sitting on my face for 8 hours, like strapped to me.
Yeah, that's different. That's you're fighting one thing that's creating another thing, and you're that one I can understand.
So yeah, I guess my moral of the story is I can't tell you any differences, but I'm sure that if I went back, I would be like, holy crap.
Oh yeah, I about a year ago, I'm actually going for my year neurology checkup Monday. A year ago, I went to I went to my regular doctor, and I ended up getting a neurologist appointment and all this stuff, and going on this injectable, and like I'm still paying for that too. So I understand your frustration. I had a doctor. I have insurance. I had very good insurance, like the best insurance anybody's ever heard of, government insurance.
Oh yeah.
And I still owed them like $1,200. And then one of them stopped billing me, or like I went on the portal and it wasn't there anymore, and I was like, oh, maybe they wrote it off or something changed. No, they sent it to collections, even though I was paying on it, which was super cool. I got a phone call about that one day, so now I pay a different company like $100 a month trying to pay that off. And
I've done that. I've gone through that.
I'm just like, man, like all I wanted to do was to not lose my job from having migraines so often.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's what I guess you never said in this right here, what the neurology stuff was for migraines. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so I had like I still have pretty bad migraines, but I had like super severe, like once a week I had to go home from work. My migraines were so bad. Like throwing up, and even with medicine, like throwing up, and having to just be in a dark, cold, silent room for hours, and like it was bad.
Remind me when you get, I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to ask you a question about migraines that I may have experienced, but keep going. I don't want to interrupt you with it, but I don't want to forget about it.
So imagine the worst hangover you've ever had, except there's no reason for it. You didn't party too hard last night, or win Chicago, or win the championship, or anything. Like the worst hangover you've ever had, but there was no fun the night before to explain it, at least.
Yeah, you just woke up with it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't even have to wake up with it. You can just be like going through your day. Everything's happy, hunky-dory. It's beautiful, perfect. Birds are chirping, And then all of a sudden you're like, oh man, I got a headache. And then like 20 minutes later, you're laying in the fetal position.
Mommy.
I mean, there's people who've killed themselves over migraines. So like it's a level of pain I cannot tell. If you get it, you know. If you don't get it,
you have no idea.
I can't explain the level of pain to you that it is. I mean, you can't think, you can't process. My bleach was splurred.
Yeah.
My speech was splurred.
Splurged.
Kind of like that, but less funny. Like it is awful. You can't think, you can't make decisions, you can't move forward with your life. So I've been on this stuff for about a year. It's $600 a month.
I remember you telling me about the injectable stuff. Is that what it is?
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm on. And it took me like 3 months to get the right dosage and blah, 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 and get up to speed. And thank God I have it now because I have like a week a month instead of like every day of headaches. And that doesn't sound like a lot of relief, but it's an amazing amount of relief. My insurance was just fucking with me trying not to renew it. And I was pissed because they were like, well, you still use these other medicines. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't have to buy them off prescription or off insurance to get through the month. Like I can use the amount that you guys pay for to get through the months now. And then the insurance isn't even that good of a deal for your prescriptions. If I buy the prescriptions on the prescription plan at King Super Dupers, it's like $15 for 9 pills. If I buy it on my insurance, it's $30.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, I went to there. I had to go to my regular doctor to get a referral. Then I got into the neurologist, and then I had
that's part of my rant.
3 specialist appointments in 6 months. I had the first one, and then I had one at 3 months, and then I had one at 6 months. And that shit just adds up. It was like at one point it was like $1,200 or $1,500. And then Steph talked to the insurance people and we're like, no, this one should be free because this is the annual checkup. This one should be this. And she worked at the doctor's office for a couple months, like 2 years ago. So she kind of knows a little bit of how to game them. You know, like, hey, no, this is this and this is that. And you didn't code this right. And if you didn't know that, I mean, it would have cost us like $600 more.
Yeah.
So I'm going back tomorrow. My insurance changed again, but it's going to cost me $40 to go. So I finally got insurance that's like, before I had a high deductible health plan, I just got the regular one because I was like, well, I'm fairly young. I don't need it every day. Now I still have a high deductible health plan, but it's the best one my company offers. I work for the government and all my views are my own and not of theirs, but I work for the state of Colorado in a sense, a certain department within the state. And the insurance is actually pretty good now that I pay like a stupid amount for it, but it's better than a lot of people do. So I shut the fuck up about that. Not sponsored.
Not a sponsor.
All my views are my own, not of my employer, blah, 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 all that shit. Don't call my boss and try to get me fired. They said the wrong thing. And if you do, you're a douchebag anyway.
Colorado, not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. But yeah, so that's my whole story. I'm trying to pay that off. I just refinanced the house. We're closing.
We did too.
So I can pay off all my bills that I ran up because I'm an idiot. Hey, you're refinancing your house? Why don't you pay off all your car and get rid of it?
Because we had to pay off the windows, the furnace, the AC. I just paid actually, and you know, the rest of it should go to me because I just paid the Mexicans to put in the concrete in the back. They ripped out the deck and the fence. I talked to you since then? I don't know if I talked to you since then.
Oh, yeah, concrete.
Wait. I'm going to forget. Migraines. I very rarely get headaches ever, but there is this, it hasn't happened in a long time, but there was a time where I'll get these. It was weird. It was like over here and it was kind of like sparklies.
Sparkles, yeah.
In my
or
eye.
Squiggly worm line.
But, and there was it wasn't just like a line. It was like there were openings in them, but I wouldn't even notice it for a while. And then it would just kind of, and I'd be like, what the fuck is that? And it would kind of come in. And then it would be where like, hey, I can't see. And it would keep working its way until it went all the way through. And there was no pain, but it was just like my vision was,
that can be
like that.
Yeah, that can be a migraine. There's something called aura, which I get. I didn't used to, but I get now. I get these little like squiggly, I call them the snakes, like the little curvy line signs, but they're clear and they just kind of have like a little thing. They kind of, then you try to look at them and they go like that.
Yeah.
The blood vessel protein thing in your eye. I also get where everything turns gray. Like imagine looking out over the horizon on a hazy day. I get that, but like everything is like that, no matter if it's my phone a foot away from me or a mountain 100 miles.
Like the color went away, or it's foggy, or both?
The colors are there, but it's like foggy. It's like, when you're in a shop and somebody's running something and it's super smoky.
The body guy just blew the car off in like 30 seconds ago, and then you walked over there.
Yes,
Yeah.
But like the whole shop is like that.
Yeah.
I get that, except the shop is perfectly clear. And the horizon's perfectly clear. And like this distance from me to my phone is the same amount of gray as from here to the picture on the wall, as is from here to the mountain 100 miles away. It's just all like this kind of gray haze.
Weird. Okay.
So different people it affects in different ways. There's people who get stomach issues. Their stomach will they'll get the trots. They'll throw up just randomly. They'll just throw up, not from pain or anything. They'll just randomly, their stomach will be messed up, or muscle issues, anxiety, just unexplainable. They don't know a lot about migraine. In fact, this medicine that I'm on is one of the first of a new type of medicines that's specifically for migraine. Before it was these medicines that were like made for other things. They're like, hey, my head doesn't hurt as bad. Let's give it to migraine people and see if it helps them.
Yeah.
So this new type of medicine I'm on, that's why it's so expensive, is because it's like the first actual migraine focused medicine.
Yeah, that's what else I was going to ask you. What does no one knows exactly what causes it, or it's different for everybody? What causes it to happen?
Yes, all the above. It's different for all sorts of people. Symptoms are different. Sometimes it's short circuits in the brain, inflated blood vessels. For some people, it's none of the above. It's neuron issues. So what I take is a CGRP. Basically, there's a protein that they think, now they don't know this, but they think that when you're having a migraine, your brain releases this protein or something. They're assuming your brain releases a protein, and then it is a specific shape, just like everything, is a shape. A protein, what makes it is a specific shape. That's what makes all these little proteins in your body, my body, in cows, whatever. So this protein gets released into your brain, and there's these little specifically shaped receptors. Say it's a circle. Well, this is the protein. It's perfectly shaped to receive it.
Okay.
Well, it won't receive this protein. This one's like, no, it doesn't fit. So this medicine fills those protein spots and doesn't let the real proteins hit and make the connection, so you don't get the pain.
Huh, okay.
Basically, it just fills a hole. It's looking for a specific shape Lego block to fill, like a Tetris spot, and it fills it instead of letting these other real proteins fill it, and then you don't feel the pain. I do get some of the other symptoms. Not so much the aura, not so much sick to my stomach, but I can be confused. Kind of, for lack of a better word, drunk sounding, looking, just off. Since I've started the medicine, it's more just off. It's not like, oh, I shouldn't drive because I'm not cognitively there. It's more just like, that's confusing. And then the next day I look at it and I'm like, why was that confusing? That's pretty straightforward, but you're not 100%. It's so that I still notice. The biggest thing is like, honestly, I'll be driving sometimes and just be like, la di da di da, and get home, and I'm like,
how did I get here?
I don't remember driving home. And it's not like you don't remember. It's just kind of like your brain in the moment is doing everything it needs to be doing. And it's something you do all the time. So you just kind of go on autopilot.
Yeah.
And some people, I mean, they drive like that every day. So they're just like, you know, and for me, it's more like I know I just drove home and I was cognitively, you know, starting, stopping, following distances, all that. But like, I don't have any deep thoughts, let's call them. Like, I'm not sitting there like, okay, when I get home, I need to do this, I'm going to do that. And tomorrow it's just, you're just kind of like cruising, which I think everybody does to an extent.
Yeah. We're driving to the same road to work and back every day. Like, I'll do every day. I won't remember if I locked my car or not. Just because I do it every day and it's always locked.
It's kind of like that. But for me, like, I never did that before.
Yeah.
So that's, it's different. Like locking the car or whatever, no big deal. But like, just kind of like getting to work or like getting home. Like, I'll drive home from work and be like, shit, I was supposed to go to Home Depot. Damn it.
Speaking of that, remember I told you about going to Qdoba? We were supposed to do that again yesterday, Friday.
Yeah.
And I got home and I came down here and I brought my GoPro that I use for my car. I brought it down here because we were going to record building this robot. And I was sitting here and I'm like, oh, I was supposed to get Qdoba on the way home. So I text Laura and I'm like, I just remembered right now that I'm supposed to get Qdoba. And she's like, do it. I was like, I'm not leaving home again and driving all the way up to, you know, Mississippi. It's a little ways.
I'm not driving 4 blocks. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. It's really only like a mile, but a mile takes like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. I don't miss Denver. Sometimes I miss Denver, but not for that.
I only live 16 miles from work. Well, it's not so bad now. I can get home leaving at 5. I get here at like 5:40.
That's not terrible.
40 minutes. Yeah. What were we going to talk about when I went back to the migraine thing to ask you? We started something else and I forgot. I need to take notes or something.
You were going to go on a rant about doctor's offices.
Oh, man. I don't know if I want to do that right now. Actually, right now I'm thinking I got to pee really bad. And I was thinking that either we should take a break and I should pee, or we should just call it a day and then try again next time.
You want to wrap it up and then we'll have some content for next week? Yeah,
we can. I'm just going to sit down here. Actually, I'm like 10 videos deep of videos that need to be edited. Like they were gone. They left. They went somewhere with her mom for like half a day. So I recorded a whole bunch of stuff and a whole bunch of things. And now I've been trying to work through them, but I have like 10 to go. So what I've been doing during the week is we'll go to bed at 7:30 and Laura will go to bed about the same time, between 7:30 and 8. So I'll come down here. I'll work on videos until 9 o'clock. And then after that, I'll play a game. I've kind of gotten to where like, I'm not just going to work myself to death. I am going to play and do something that I want to do for myself.
You got it. You absolutely have to. Yeah. Like, I've been seeing you go live a lot. I don't like video games. I'm sorry. I'm a bad friend. But I do like through them later.
I've been trying to go live on YouTube every Friday for like the last 4 weeks. I've been doing it around 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I have like the same few people come in and out. Well, there's like 1 or 2 people that I see every time that I know I recognize their names. Some other people just kind of come and go. So that's cool. That's fun. I put these polls up on my channel, and there's a community thing where you can post a poll of what should I play and stream tonight? Cyberpunk, Assassin's Creed. And then they can click on the one they want and it'll give me a percentage on each one. So that's pretty cool.
I click on it sometimes.
Do it.
But I don't know what they are. Like, I wish I knew. Like, I wish I knew more about them. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not a video game guy. I'm sorry. We can make overlanding videos. I'll send you overlanding video stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I need to. Oh, speaking of editing videos for people, I saw this guy who's like an AI robotics genius guy that I watch his podcast sometimes. I saw that he hiring a video editor, a something and a something and a something and a robotics something. So I was like, oh, video editor. It says edit podcasts. And I'm like, dude, that has got to be the easiest video ever to edit. You basically just let it run and you watch the audio and make sure it's all good. You put the beginning on, you put the end on, and you just let it go, you know, for the most part. So I started
and do like 2 cameras. Like,
I thought about that actually. I almost did that with this. I can, but it took me I learned a whole new thing when I set up that with the clock in the background and then with us on either side. It was a pain in the ass to set it up, but it's all saved, so I can just put them where they need to go
and then send it. Yeah.
But if I can also do the 2 camera thing, but I feel like also that we're reacting to the other person when they're talking about something too. I don't know. That's what I felt like. I didn't want to cut. If I'm telling a story, you're making faces or something, you know, that's part of it. So I didn't do it that way.
I make a lot of funny faces. We'll figure it out. Get there. It's all good. We're just having fun. I'm just having fun. I don't even care if he's making it to the internet, in all fairness.
Well, I started applying for that, and I was doing it on my phone at work. And I got to the point where I needed to put a resume on, and I was like, I don't have that on my phone. So
yeah,
I never finished it.
I've been looking, if my boss is on here, sorry. I've been looking, and I put in for something this week. So I'm hoping, I heard back, they have these like preliminary questions they want me to answer. And it's a place I've worked already down here.
Mm-hmm.
Our longtime followers know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. What?
Like my parents and your parents. Your parents watch? I know I think my parents were getting into it. My mom was like, we'll be waiting for the next podcast because that's the only way we can get the news on you.
Hi, Marger and Barger, and congrats to your sister, by the way. That's cool.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that. That can be a next time too.
You do need to tell me, how are your mom and dad? Are they good?
Yeah. When the crap? I guess the last time I saw him was at the wedding, which was when? November?
Was it November or December?
I think it was November.
I thought your folks were out when it was cold in Denver sometime.
Well,
I don't remember.
The wedding was, yeah, they were here. Yeah, no, they were here in July. Yeah, I don't even remember.
I thought they were here more recent than that, but
they were here in July for Will's birthday because we went to the reservoir and we cooked food on one of those little grills that they have like at the picnic tables.
Oh man, I've always wanted to do that and I've never done it just because like that's the old school thing.
It's the only time we ever done it. They were amazing. Hold on, I know I got it in Michelle's wedding, November 21st.
Mm-hmm. Right about the time I got the damn Rona.
Oh yeah. Oh well, no, that's because you told me, and then we were doing all this crap and getting ready to go to Texas and driving to Texas, and it never registered to me that that's what you said.
Yeah.
That until I
I remember you got back and you're like, "What? You had the Rona?" I'm like, "Dude, I texted you and told you I had the Rona," which is awful. Like 1 out of 5 stars. Do not recommend.
Yeah,
I would return it to sender immediately.
I wanted to ask you about that too and see what what exactly it was like. But I think I was going somewhere else with something else. Oh yeah, no, I saw them at the wedding, which was November 21st. My dad doesn't have a walker or anything. He's running around by himself. Actually, I'll put a picture up here of them standing in front of the fountain that I took.
Awesome.
He looks fine. He looks To be completely honest, I would have to look at another picture from before, but the only thing I think I can tell just by me looking at him is that he looks like he's aged a little bit faster.
Yeah.
You know, when people get sick, a lot of times next time you see him, you're like, whoa, you're like 20 years
People
older.
have a
and like-
near-death experience. That happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm super stoked for that. We have a family friend who got her liver on her birthday fairly recently. I got to check in with her, but it's been in the last 3 months. So I'm super stoked for your dad. Super stoked for them. They're doing amazing things.
Another thing about them, actually, that we're talking about it, they got all new siding and windows on the farmhouse. And then he built a deck for the front, which they had just a big concrete stairs out there before.
Yeah, like every old Illinois farmhouse has.
Yeah.
Like kind of precast ones, right?
Yeah, and they're all green because yeah. Anyway, then he had
With the wrought iron railing on both sides.
It was on one side because it was next to the house the way it was.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay, it was that kind. Yep.
he had a big ass new shop built where the garden used to be.
Oh man.
And he bought a new Dodge, a new 1992. It's a 1990 dango 12 valve diesel. Tell you what.
Cool.
The
Congrats
bed,
to your dad. I'm stoked for him.
around the wheels and on the bed, it's all rusted away. But he said he thinks he knows where he can get another bed. It's red on the top and bottom and white through the middle. The interior,
Ooh.
like the seat and is carpet red? It's all red inside.
Well, hopefully he doesn't let his dumbass kid fuck it up again.
Michelle, I think, what was it? I think he got it for like 6,500
Whoa.
American dollars. Something like that.
Is
Well,
it Biden and his Pelosi pay stuff?
What it was listed for. I don't know what he got it for, but
That's awesome. That's so cool. We'll have to put some pictures up. I don't care. That's rusty. Awesome.
yeah, I'll have to find the pictures. Man, every time I like interrupt myself, like, oh, I was gonna say this, and then I forgot what I was gonna say before I went back to say the thing that I was gonna say.
We do that a lot. Write some notes down about all the things you want to say.
And as soon as we get done, I'll be like, that was it.
Write it down. Put a little appy. Well, my phone's recording this, but put a little notes app in your phone and just be like, oh, titty sprinkles.
I have one. When we started doing this, I did that. Like throughout the week, I have a checklist app that I would put stuff in there to talk about. And then as we were doing this, I would check them off. But then after a while, it's like, this is talk. I don't even. Did I show you that I cleared my phone case?
Oh God.
So the only thing it's just clear and then blue pearl.
Ooh, pretty. I like it.
It's all worn off on the edges, and this stuff is like Bondo and paint. I wish I hadn't done it though, because it's real car clear coat, and it is slippery, and I drop it all the time.
Mine's rubber, and I drop it all the time, so it doesn't matter. It can be made of anything. Like right now, I was looking at this because where my little screen is, you can't see it. It's right here. There's a weld berry. I don't know if you can hear the microphone when I scrape it. There's a weld berry right on my screen. I just noticed that tonight. I was like, what is that? Ah, shit.
Yeah, I've done that.
So I need a new screen protector. We need to be sponsored by Zags because I break my phone all the time. This one's going though. We're refining right now and we close in a week. And as soon as the refi is done, I'm getting a new phone because this one's just got to stay plugged in. Otherwise it dies.
I've been waiting to get a new phone, but all the new phones are crap. Well, except for like the Samsung just came out with like the 21 Ultra, which is, I'm sure is a good phone, but it costs $1,500. Plus, I went to a Samsung like 2 phones ago. Did you see a ghost?
Do you hear that? Pretty sure a chainsaw just drove by.
Oh, it happens. Oh, speaking of something driving by, I'll have to put it in here. I forgot when we were talking about it. My sister sent me a video of her driving in their neighborhood, and then she gets passed by a snowboarder. On the road in Texas.
In Tejas.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel that your sister is a Texican, but I feel like she's got like one of the good ones. So I'm gonna go with that.
She's been there. I don't even know for like. I think after she graduated in Michigan, what college is there? I don't remember now. I feel like she moved out there fairly quickly after that.
I don't think I've ever actually met your sister, but
have you? I don't know.
We've talked enough that I know her. I don't know, but she's got to be one of the good Texans. We're gonna go with that. She's one of the good Texans.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, I'm not going to tell you why this reminded me of that, but Laura and my mom both got vaccines.
Woo!
The COVID vaccines.
What about your dad? Your dad should get one.
He didn't. My mom was just, because my mom works at a high school sometimes, I think still. So they were just, so the thing about it, Laura's boss was the same way. She was there when they open it, they have to use all the doses after they open this one. And if you don't use them in time, you have to throw them away.
They go bad. So hey, get it.
If people don't show up, they're like, hey, who wants vaccine? Vaccine right here. Yep. And then you come and you get it.
You get a vaccine. You get a vaccine. Yep. Nope, we're out. Never mind.
Well, my mom had her second one, and as far as I know, she didn't get sick or anything.
Awesome.
Because that's what I'm hearing. The second one, you get really sick for like 2 days. Laura has only had her first one.
Okay. Some people do. Some people don't have any issues, so who knows?
The more time goes on, the more I'm like, man, these things have only been tested for like 8 months. Like what?
Shut up.
Like,
they've all only been tested for 8 months. Go get your vaccine.
I know, but I've seen the movie
28 days later.
I Am Legend, where they cure cancer, except it turns you into a zombie.
No, that's not what happens to I Am Legend.
Yeah, they come up with a cure for cancer, but they start turning into zombies, and then everyone leaves the city except Will Smith because he can he's trying to make a cure.
So all the zombies are cancer kids?
Yeah.
I don't remember that part.
You should go watch it. I want to watch it, actually. I got it right there.
I don't do scary movies anymore. That was like the last scary movie I think I ever watched in the theaters, and I was super scared. And I was like, nope, I don't like this anymore.
I think Gwen's my new scary movie buddy. Because I haven't watched scary movies in years because Laura doesn't like them, so we just don't watch them. So then, like, I think it was around the end of 2019, I kind of got on this scary movie kick where I wanted to watch them. So we watched The Conjuring, which was pretty good, I had to say, as far as horror movies go. And then we watched Get Out, which... Have you seen that?
Is that the one with the black guy? What's his name?
Yeah.
Key and Peele? Peele, what's his name? I don't know. But yeah, and it's like they're going to like eat his brain or something crazy.
They lost me after... like 3/4 in, they kind of lost me, and then it was just funny after that. It's
kind of like M. Night Shyamalan style, where it's like disturbed utopia, weird shit.
Kinda, yeah. There's something strange going on.
The whole thing, but yeah.
And then we watched Annihilation, which was the guy that made Ex Machina. Have you seen that one? I like that one. Which Annihilation's about aliens, I guess, or interdimensional beings or something. It was pretty cool. I like Ex Machina. Same guy that made Tenet, the new, was it Christopher Nolan? Yeah, that might be it. Yeah, so I wanted to see Tenet, so we saw Tenet, which I can't say was good or bad. I can say too much stuff happened, and they packed it all into this movie to have everything in there. And it was too much. You'd have to watch it like 4 times
Yeah,
get
where
it
it
all.
really needed to be like a trilogy, but they put it in one movie.
But there's not that much. There was a lot of information that they had to put in there, but there wasn't enough story to make more movies of it.
Oh, I got you.
So
A lot of background to make it all make sense. Too much background.
kind
Kind of
of.
like when you tell a joke, but you have to explain the joke, so it's not funny anymore.
It's about time running forwards and backwards too. So background is a good way to put it, I guess. I don't even know why we're talking about this now. What was I talking about? Oh, horror movies.
You had
Yeah.
to pee. That's the last thing I remember.
Yeah, I've had to pee for like an hour, but it's just kind of stayed the same. It hasn't gotten worse.
Oh, we've been talking for 2 hours. We should go.
Yeah, I got games to play. I've been trying to cut off my gameplay at midnight and make myself get in bed.
All right, you better hurry. You only got 2 hours. All right, it was good talking to you. Welcome to season 2,
Yeah.
everybody. Check out. I think Cory sits on this side when we're on the screen.
Yep.
Check out his YouTube. Oh, my finger cut off. Check out his YouTube channel, Kobe Scroby.
Mm-hmm.
And then check out, if you like what he's doing and all that, check out his Patreon. And give him a nickel. He does a lot of work. He works his ass off. And he did, seen something else, a GoFundMe or something to help Cory.
I was in that mood of.
He seems salty. So somebody send him $5, please.
And so I was just like, you know what? I was on Facebook. Oh, I shared that video and I was like, if you want to save the puppies, make sure you watch this video or something stupid. And then as I was doing that, Facebook's like, hey, why don't you set up a donation to your favorite nonprofit? I was like, oh yeah, you know what my favorite nonprofit is? My YouTube channel. So I just did it. I was like, you know what? I was like, I spend all this money and time on all this stuff that I do and I don't make any money off of it. I'm going to do it. I don't care. I can say that one lady, the wife of a guy that I worked with at Furniture Row, she donated $10, which now I feel bad. Like, I'm like, I'm like, give me your money. And then I'm like, but you don't have to give me your money. Yeah.
But not like really. All right. If somebody gives you $10 more, you got to do something funny for the people.
I got to do something.
You gotta, you can't eat, can you eat dairy?
Yeah.
Okay. You gotta like fill your mouth with whipped cream and pop it like Belushi did in Animal House.
Oh, speaking of Belushi, we just watched Blues Brothers the other day, like last weekend.
Ah, man. That's the greatest.
And Laura had only seen it. She said she saw it at Movie Tavern when they do their retro movie night, but I don't remember it.
Did we all go see that once?
Did you go too?
I thought we all went and saw it once there, Movie Tavern.
Maybe. That could have been
for
it.
The 30th or 40th anniversary or something. 25th. I don't know.
That was the only time
we all went.
We could have. She might have said that too. But that's the only time she's seen it, so you
gotta watch it.
Her favorite part was when they were driving to the restaurant with Aretha Franklin, because they're all outside playing and singing, and you see all the food that these people are cooking, like in the
John Lee Hooker playing Boom Boom on Maxwell Street. Yeah,
and I'm like, that's the best food you'll ever have in your life.
It's so good.
These little diners that no one's heard of.
These little shitholes. Yep. All right. We're cutting. We're stopping. This is the end. Save that for next time.
We try to do this. We're gonna try to do this once a week again, I guess, if we can.
We can. In like 2 weeks, I'm going on a trip over the weekend, but we'll figure something out. Don't worry.
I thought about a couple times when I just wanted to rant, just recording something with myself, but then I'm like, I don't know if I should do that. No. Anyway,
depressing. Just call me.
On my channel, link in the description. I have been, and I'm trying to stream every Friday night around 8 o'clock Mountain Time. Yeah, I gotta pee really bad.
All right. Party on, Wayne. We'll see you. Stay out of trouble.
All right, see you next time. Oh, yeah. Good luck with that. That's funny. I'm sure there's a delay, but we both said it at the exact same time.
Perfect. Yeah, I felt like I said it late, but as long as it got to you where the recording is at the same time, that works.
That's cool.